I don't care what you guys. You all my life.
Very few people need any instruction in negative self-programming. You don't need to read any books or to take any classes in programming yourself negatively. It's obviously something that people learn to do very well on their own.
Oh, good morning, anybody. I don't know if anybody watching or not. There is no need to run outside for better seeing, nor to peer from a window. Rather, abide at the center of your being, for the more you leave it, the less you learn. Lao Tis. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I know it's Lao Tis. I think Lao. The guy that wrote the Tao Te Chi, the Tao Te Chi. Hopefully you can hear me. Oh, so I'll let those videos play for a little while with a little bit of background music and okay. But it is the day after Christmas. I imagine some people are returning back to work. I do believe another person, was it Reverend Rune, said that the weather is keeping him from, I guess, traveling back home, or that was yesterday. At some point, I think there was a bunch of ice or something where he's at. So it was slowing down the progress of maybe getting out and coming back to where he would be wanting to go, I guess. Truth is within ourselves. There is an inmost center in us all, where the truth abides in fullness, and to know rather consists in opening out a way whence the imprisoned splendor may escape, that in effecting entry for a light supposed to be without. That was a little bit hard there. I don't know. I like it, but Robert Browning, who wrote that one. A God has made his abode within our breast. When he rouses us, the glow of inspiration warms us. This is holy rapture. This is holy rapture springs from the seeds of the divine mind sown in man. Ovid? I don't know who that is. Most men take a problem not to themselves, not into the chambers of their own minds, but to the first directory of persons whom they can consult. Vladivar, have no clue who that is. The kingdom of God is within you. Jesus. Okay, those are quotes at the beginning of The Infinite Way by Joel S. Goldsmith. Author's note. There is a way whereby we are able to rid ourselves of sin, sickness, poverty, and the results of wars and economic changes. This way is the exchanging of our material sense of existence for the understanding and consciousness of life as spiritual. Down the centuries, the sense of man and the universe as being material has resulted in the development of fear for the personal self and national existence. This will continue and become even more intensified as more destructive material forces are discovered. The latest of these forces to be announced is a chemical, 1 ounce of which it is claimed would be sufficient to destroy the entire population of the United States and Canada. And even this is probably not the ultimate of material force. There is no material power to overcome either this or the atomic bomb. There is no hope in matter or material sense. The way of security, harmony, and health is through attaining some measure of spiritual consciousness. Hey, what's up, Tomcat? I'm sorry, I just saw this. Bloop, 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 bloop. Okay. I don't know if, yeah, there is no hope in matter or material sense. The way of security, harmony, and health is through attaining some measure of spiritual consciousness. The great secret is that despite all belief to the contrary, real power, either for good or evil, does not reside in matter or in the material sense of man and the universe. Those who have acquired some degree of spiritual consciousness have proved in the measure the reality of spirit. The necessity for giving up the material sense of existence for the attainment of the spiritual consciousness of life and its activities is the secret of the seers, prophets, and saints of all ages. That it is practical, is proved today by the healing and regenerating works done by many students of modern schools of practical or scientific Christianity. When the world learns that whatever success has been gained in improving conditions of health, wealth, and security in the lives of these modern followers of ancient teachings has been accomplished solely by the surrender of material sense through the attainment of spiritual consciousness, it may well look up. It may well look up with hope. The question is, how does one set about attaining this spiritual consciousness and thereby lose material sense? The answer is read and study the truths revealed through all ages about universal consciousness, soul of spirit, and about spiritual creation and its laws. Imbibe the spiritual sense of these revelations. In this small volume, I have written the spiritual truth as I have gleaned it through over 30 years of study of the major religions and philosophies of all ages, the last 15 years of which have been spent in the practical application of truth to problems of human existence, problems of health, business, family, life, and security. Be assured, inner peace will come as one turns to the spiritual consciousness of life, and an outer calm will follow in one's human affairs. The outer world will conform to the inner awareness of truth. The authority for all of this revelation will be you, as you yourself experience this change within and without. Now that's the author's note. So I started off reading the four quotes at the beginning. Then it had the author's note from Joel S. Goldsmith himself, and then it goes into the infinite way. Well, I don't think it starts right off the bat, but we're not gonna. I'm not gonna bore you by reading extensive amount of time. I'm not gonna take up a large portion of the stream just reading long periods of something from that. But I did want to touch on the infinite way the other day, and I had something on my brain. I remember, and so I was like, I could sit here and read a little bit of it. That's just kind of a brief precursor. Yeah, Joel S. Goldsmith, that's author. And I believe The Infinite Way was written back in, what year was it originally published? Let's see if it tells me in this book. This is of course, this is a newer publishing. So it originally was published in 1947. Then it had been so the copyright originally goes back to 1947 and then also 1956. This actual book I'm holding and reading from actually is the 34th printing, which was in 2006. We're in 2025. There's probably about 30 something or more printings by now. I don't know really, but just depends. Here's also something from the author at the very beginning I forgot to read. The world is not in need of a new religion, nor is it the world in need of a new philosophy. What the world needs is healing and regeneration. The world needs people who, through devotion to God, are so filled with the Spirit that they can be instruments through which healing takes place. Joel S. Goldsmith. There's a lot that I've read of these books. he does talk a lot about actually having physical healing happen and stuff. Then again, you know, it's neither here or there, but I do believe in mind over matter. Not that I've been able to accomplish it often, but I'm doing it. I'm trying to. Sounds good on me. And how are you doing today, Tomcat? I hope you're doing all right. Uh, Let me go turn something down. Hold on a minute. Oh. Oh, oh gosh. I'm aching a little bit. So this morning I was sluggish, man, like low on energy. And I have taken a walk. I have talked to a friend, my friend Mike Hernandez, made a video, so that Jesus Calling video's up. What else? What else did I do? Oh, I can't remember. Well, I mean, it's still kind of early, but I talked to Mike for about I don't know how long. But I was just drag ass, man. I'm tired. I keep waking up multiple times in the night. I think part of that's probably blood sugar and stuff. You know, I'm real bad about. I'm really trying hard. So I'm trying something new now. I'm going to be eating in the mornings where as opposed to I wasn't. I was trying to intermittent fast from a certain time in the evening to whatever time in the afternoon, and that would be when I'd first start my meal. But I'm going to be trying to have my eating period of time between 8 in the morning and 8 at night, and then after 8 o'clock at night, no more fucking food. I've got to get that down, and if I can do that, it should start regulating my sleep a little better. But that's neither here or there. Give me a second. I'm about to do something here. Oh. So just before I went live, my buddy David from church brought me this bag, and he said, "Here's a Christmas gift." I've already ate I had a Ziploc baggie of, I believe there was 5 or 6. Well, there might have been 8, anywhere 6 to 8 sausage balls that had just got finished being made, that his wife had made, and he came over here. So, and I've been talking to my neighbor out here that's in the front, working on his car. So when David dropped this off, I haven't looked in the rest of the bag yet, other than I see that there's a shirt. So I was saving this since he gave this to me. Hey, Merry Christmas, Falgooni. Since David brought this morning, I thought, hey, this is something I can do on stream. You'll see really, like I can look down in there, but so let's see what else is in here other than the sausage balls that I ate about 3 of the sausage balls, gave one, and I gave one to Biddy, one my neighbor ate. I don't remember. Oh, so I've got a new T-shirt, which I can always use clothes. I'm always, is that a long sleeve? Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm in need of long sleeves. So, like, I had very few long sleeves starting off this winter. That's cool. That's a long sleeve. So I'm blessed this morning, right? I'm blessed to be alive. I might have started off real sluggish in energy and stuff, but until I get some things down about a little bit more discipline going on my diet, like, okay, cool. Another good long sleeve. Okay, so 2 shirts. And then, okay, so, and then they gave me like, I really don't need these. Because let me see. Yeah, I might have to give these to my neighbors because I'm really trying to do my best. I am trying to cut all anything, any unneeded sugars or anything that don't need to be, like I'm trying to cut all that out. So, you had the best Christmas ever, Falcone? Well, I'm glad somebody had a good Christmas. My Christmas wasn't bad, but it was just here at the trailer like another fucking day. But I did stream yesterday. I streamed later in the day. And I talked to my friend Mike. I talked to my sister for about 15 or 20 minutes. Oh, it might have been only been 10 or 15 minutes. I talked to my sister early in the morning. Talked to my friend Mike, but I talked to Mike numerous times in a week. I meant to call another friend, and then she got caught up in something like, I don't know, like she hurt her back or some shit. And I also was going to attempt to call a couple other people. And then before I knew it, I had done my walks. I'd streamed. I started that stream kind of late. So it was kind of like I didn't end up talking to as many people as I thought I would. And then Tomcat says, I'm good. I'm just proofreading the intro to my book. I might do a fireside story time and read it when I have my daytime fire later today. Put that up on the screen. Oh, gosh. To be honest, I didn't know if I was going to go live this morning. It was like the hardest today for some freaking reason. I did get up. I took that little brisk walk. I came back. I just was like, God dang, I just felt, of course, I hadn't consumed any caffeine or anything like that, but I just knew I wasn't feeling. But once I answered the phone and started talking to my friend Mike, as the conversation went on, I started elevating in my energy. And then I had started drinking my drink that's got a little bit of energy stuff in it. I'm going to read it while having yeah, I figured out what you were meaning, Tomcat. And then Falguni said, well, hold on. Gosh darn it. I was traveling with friends from last time. Yeah, the last time we talked. Came back home today, went to the city that had the best Christmas celebration in the country. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh, God, dang it. Oh. Guys, you'll have to forgive me because I haven't decided whether, I don't know if I'm going to, I have no clue what I'm doing really. I'm just streaming because I was feeling like crap and now I'm feeling better and I can stream. Plenty of other things I could be doing. I struggle so hard with just motivating and being motivated, but I think some of that has to do with whatever's going on inside of me that has still not been, we ain't figured quite out because I have missed twice. I've put off that colonoscopy and all that stuff for a few months now. And we know why. One reason was a ride, and then the next reason was my drinking. And then this last time I just got pissed off because I've been in the damn little room for 45 minutes and nobody had came to see me yet. And it wasn't going to be done that day. All she's going to be doing is telling me the same stuff I already know and then setting up a day to have it done. Yeah, so you'd been traveling all the way up till today, Falcon, is what you're saying. I guess what I was trying to say here is I don't know. I haven't decided how long I'm going to stay on, so that's why you don't see a link in the chat just yet or anything. A lot of it's just kind of I'm winging it. And then, sometimes it's totally okay if I just sit here and do something completely by myself and nobody joins, right? Like yesterday, I streamed for an hour and a half, I think, and there was a lot, not a lot, but I'd say 6, 7 or more people watching, and then probably 4 or 5 or 6 different people in and out of the chat. So that was just fine, a lot of people, because it's that time of year, a lot of people are busy anyway. Like coming on and that trying to talk on this thing is different than trying, like, you can be doing stuff and communicating in a chat sometimes uh more easily than if you join somebody's, like right now I'm on live, although I've got a good setup now, so I'm using my laptop for the base. It's Clouds World and we're just living it. I guess what I'm getting at is I don't know what I haven't decided yet. I'm like, because I don't know. I'm just rolling with the gut. I'm just going with how it feels, man. It feels all right now. To say that I felt like crap this morning, took a walk, was still feeling sluggish, but then slowly, as I talked to my friend Mike, the energy level has raised. It came up. I went over and talked to my neighbor over there working on his car, and then David stopped by. So since about an hour and a half ago, I do feel much better. So that's why you see my ugly face right here. So speaking of which, I'm going to turn my camera off for a minute. And you'll see me start doing that more often because I got a cool, I put me a cool little avatar on there and I hadn't had one really. And that particular character is Scout, Timothy Truman story and character. It's his whole creation. He writes it. He's the artist, the writer, and everything. One of my favorite books, comic books back in the 80s by Eclipse Comics, an independent comic book company. I've got a bunch of the Scout comics here, but I might have them ready to just show that tomorrow when I do the comic book or the comics group little fun stream we're trying to do on Saturdays. And I'm going to make sure I'm going to make sure that I'm going to try to keep it all light. Nothing heavy. It's the intention of Saturday's show for me. Like right now, I can get heavy with you. But actually, Saturday's show is an open panel anyway. It's an open forum. So we may talk about comments. We may cut up with each other and joke around. But then we also, throughout the whole conversation over a time span of 2 to 3 hours, it might go from joking to actual some serious subjects as well. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's the format I like to keep. Let me think about what I'm doing right quick. Blah, 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 blah. I wanted to check something out real quick. I'm going to do something here. What is it? Is this it? Okay. And I'm losing your attention, but that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody, I'm not for everybody. And I'm not trying to put on some show right now. I'm just fucking here in the mornings doing my thing. Now on Saturday, like tomorrow, I hope that I'm in a higher place of energy level and I can try to put on a show, like try to not put on a show, but the intention of the Saturday thing is it's a set time, it's a set thing. I'm trying to stay to it. And I want it to be somewhat entertaining. If I'm still navigating and learning, so it's kind of crazy. The more I do it, I'll get better at it, right? You know what I mean? Kind of in between. And then sometimes people are only concerned, like, sometimes people are just maybe sometimes
But
people.
normally, if it's decent enough English American, it's fine. Hope that makes sense. Let's see. Yeah, I don't have ADHD. I just ain't got time to waste for your bullshit slow video and stupid things you have to say that are slow.
Yeah, Omer's talking about people that talk slow.
I'll listen to your stupid things if they're fast. That way I can get through it and go get more knowledge. I usually watch a lot of YouTube primarily to like learn stuff. I don't know, tutorials, shit like that. And I mean, that's the content I kind of wanted to make too initially, but I don't care.
What should I leave it? I'm gonna tell him he talks like take the marbles out of your mouth. Even though I can understand him totally fine, I'm just trying to make a freaking funny comment about something because he's talking about people talking slow or whatever.
In the end, it turns out I don't care. I don't really want to teach. Kind of done with teaching. Sometimes slow it down, but normally if it's decent enough English American, it's fine. Hope that makes sense. Let's see. Yeah, I don't have ADHD. I just ain't got time to waste for your bullshit slow.
It's already playing again. Okay, that's good enough. That's all I needed. I'd seen that pop up earlier, and I just wanted to see it. And I don't know, like I don't know what people fucking expect when they show up. I don't know what they want out of me. I don't think people really want anything. They just like to hear me talk, and they like to talk to me. And sometimes I share some interesting things, and sometimes other people with me share interesting things. I'm only talking about this because I am trying to get better at not worrying about if something I say or do is going to run somebody off or not. Because the truth is, I'm not very offensive. I don't try to be. I may cuss, I may do this and that, but I try to be respectful in a certain sense of the word to everybody. I don't care. Blah, 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 blah. You know what though? I am in a deep thinking kind of frame of mind today. It's kind of like that's why I was kind of sharing a little bit of the infinite way. And I'm looking through some notebooks and stuff. I was trying to find something maybe. No trait is more Christ-like than love. Hmm. That might be what they say. These are notes like I think from church. It's bad to judge even if you know it's true, but yet it is much worse to judge when you have no clue. That makes sense, don't it? So even if you know it's true, it's still kind of bad to make judgment. But if you're making judgment and you have no fucking clue about what you're judging, that's even worse. Yeah, I would say so. I think I like that. I think I say so. I think I say so. And why just be by myself? I'm gonna. If you want to come on, you can for a minute. Yeah, I complain about just being by myself most of the damn time anyway. That's why I do these streams. And if nobody wants to come on, it's no big deal either. Because at some point, usually, if I end up streaming for an hour or two, I got to tell my ass that it's time to get up. Even if I ain't gonna do a whole lot, I just got to get up. I got to move around. But I do have it set up now where I can, like, I'm on the gimbal. Like, if I want to get up and move around with you guys, I can. Here in a minute, I can turn the camera around and we can walk outside in the yard, look at the damn dog and all that stuff. But like I said, I don't know. Sometimes it's nice to just like I'm trying not to be too self-conscious of when I'm on stream. Just keep doing it, and the more I do it, I learn a little more each time I do it. And ever since my camera on the laptop just kind of started looking like complete crap, it forced me to figure out how to use the phone and the laptop at the same time. And only so I'm using the camera on the phone, which is a much better camera anyway, even if the laptop camera didn't mess up. So, because the laptop camera could only go up to 720, the phone camera can go up like, if I want, I think I can do HD, all that. So, what's this? People figuring much more and more out. So, like I said, I'm not trying to like necessarily be entertaining, but I realize, yeah, it's like, well, I'm saying like I don't intentionally try to be offensive, but some people might just be offended because I do. Now, of course, you don't hear me cuss every other word or anything, but in a live streaming setting, I'm not going to hold back. Like I say, fuck or this or that, blah 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 blah. But and then sometimes people aren't even offended by the cuss words. It could be that I might share something like esoteric. Let's say I share, because if I was to share a little bit more of this infinite way with you, it gets about, like, he does cover a lot of other spiritual practices in there, even though he comes from a scriptural background. He is a Christian. He's a Christian mystic. Joel S. Goldsmith was. But he studied all of the religions. He took and saw the underlying. There's a thread if you look and you'll find it. And I'm going to have to just learn that people can just assume that I may believe exactly how they do or see it the way they do because I read from certain things and I've shared about my beliefs. But I just know what the Creator has showed me, and there's a lot more to it than just what you think. On February 25th, 2024, Grey Cloud wrote, yesterday I was distracted from what is most important, which is my personal relationship with the Christ. Lean heavily on the big kahuna, especially during times my mind is playing tricks on my progress. Stay focused, Grey Cloud. Put my sight on the Christ all day, every day. See, like, I can be sharing this, but some people only have a limited view of things. I have, like, I'm aware of a presence right now within me, right here, right now. And it's not just in me, it's right beside it, right on both sides. As a matter of fact, it's right in front of me as well. It's right here in between me and the camera, too. I don't know where that just started coming from, to go from sluggish energy to improving somewhat in the energy. And now here I'm live and I'm reading some things from Infinite Way. I'm starting to read something I wrote in 24. Oh, okay. Hey, man, I'm glad that you and Mama Cat made things, got things resolved, okay? And hey, if you got Wi-Fi, you could create a text now, and then you could maybe call. Like, anyway, I don't know. I'm sure you probably already know about all that shit. Okay, love you, bro. Ditto. I'm gonna keep rolling with this. I'm enjoying where I'm at. So let me read the rest of this. Stay focused, Great Cloud. Put sight on the Christ all day, every day. Father, what will you have of me today? But that's what I wrote then in 24. Let's say Creator, Big Kahuna, Source. What will you have of me today? You're not far. You are not far, for the finish line is in sight. Again, there is a person within Scripture I strive to move towards, be like that person. As much as humanly possible, look up, select. Okay. Yeah, like I think this notebook particularly, a lot of this I'm either taking notes in church or I'm actually just writing stream of consciousness stuff that gets influences me. I'm glad if you're still there, Falguni. I appreciate you sharing that you had a great, wonderful Christmas also. And then Tomcat, I think everybody I've talked to so far seemed to have had a pretty good Christmas. And I wasn't complaining about. I've had many Christmases by myself. But if I had lived like when I talked about this yesterday. When I lived in Morganton, North Carolina, I was always not that far from town. At least walking distance. Sometimes I might have been living a little bit further, but I could get into town where I knew people would be. And it was there was a square. And there was homeless people also. There was people in apartments, people in houses, but there was homeless people, there was business people. I knew everybody in that town. Not everybody, but I knew all sorts of people. And then there was also a hub for people that would go and just meet up every day at the mission. That was a source where you could shower. That's where you could get assistance. You could eat every day. And even on a Christmas day, that's where a lot of people would end up because a lot of people didn't have much to do. They were either low income or they were living on the streets. They'd show up at the mission, eat something for Christmas. Now it didn't stay open all day, but in other words, I was never that far from when I wanted to be alone, I could stay alone at my camp or in my apartment or the house or whatever I lived in, or if I was renting a room from someone. But when I wanted to be around people, I wasn't but like a few blocks away from just going. And maybe wherever I go, there's nobody there right then. But usually within an hour or two, I could find people to hang out with that I fucking knew. Now, of course, I was doing a lot of drinking too, but it was like, I could get up that morning and have no money in my pocket, not have a clue to what I was going to do that day, but I'd go out. And before I knew it, a lot of days I have ran into someone where I've helped them out in the past, and I just hit them on a good day. And they're like, hey, Great Cloud, what are you doing? Hey, hang out with me, man. I got paid today or whatever. And that happened a lot. But I also had people every day wondering what Great Cloud was going to do. Because sometimes, as soon as people would be like, if it wasn't around my payday, what are you going to do today, Great Cloud? What are you doing today? If I wasn't automatically saying what I was going to do, like because I had money or something, well, I'm going to get fucked up or I'm going to do this. Most people would try to they'd go another route because obviously they didn't have nothing and they were just trying to leech on to whatever I might possibly come up with. Well, usually those people go off and wander off or they don't choose to hang out with me for that day because I would tell them, I don't have a damn clue. But I know if I don't get out and wander around and mingle with people, I don't, ain't nothing going to happen. And then, I might meet up with them later in that day and I've ran into this person, I've ran into that person. And all of a sudden it's like, man, you should have came and hung out with me, dude. We had a good time. Whatever. It ain't all about Gray Cloud. No, it ain't. It ain't all about Gray Cloud. No, it ain't. I don't know. I am, like I feel stupid when I was saying there's certain, like I do understand. I'm trying to learn my way here on streaming. Like I think the people that show up and do watch when they do, or that participate, most of you guys, I think, just like someone's told me before, like, and it's just like a lot of what I'm drawn to as far as on YouTube and places like that is more people that are just real. Even if they have a high production show, they're still pretty much, you're still able to see that they're pretty authentic. Now, that's not always the case. There's plenty of things that you might, because you're never, like, if you're not around someone all the time or living, personally knowing the people, your interpretation of how you see them Like, even if I'm presenting myself completely honestly, a person's perception of me still might be different. Like I said, reading these devotionals, talking spiritually and stuff. So one may just assume that because I talked about going to church or I do this and that I do have a relationship with the Creator and the Christ, or what Christ is, Christ consciousness. Some people may just assume that however traditionally they follow it, that's the way I do. I've lived my life. If I get to next Tuesday, I'll be 52 Earth years old. And I've met many people from all different places. Now, I haven't traveled a lot, but I've met a lot of people. I've been on the streets a lot. What I'm saying is the limit of my traveling is maybe going up north or something. I've never been out west. I've never been out of the country. Like I've only been like a handful of different states. But I've met a lot of people from all cultures, different religions, people that didn't believe in shit, people that didn't know what they believed. You get what I'm saying? I couldn't tell you what's moving right now, but there's something moving in me. Like I said, I was feeling pretty rough, and it wasn't like a hangover feeling. I just was not feeling, and a lot of it I do know what it is, and I already mentioned it. I'm going to be adjusting my diet to. I'm going to have a window of period because I've seen where what I've been trying to do since I come out of detox was stick to an intermittent fasting that I'd been trying to do prior to all the drinking, and I had been doing. Where I was like not eating from a certain time at night till sometime at least around lunchtime or later for the first time in the day. Some days maybe I did get 16 hours, some it was less, and in between. But I'm learning that I'm kind of learning that if I've already got certain stressors going on, to immediately try to go back to that. Like I might be adding more stress on my body, and I've also been kind of not doing so good on cutting my eating off at a certain time in the evening. So they suggest there's a protocol I can do, and that's what I'm working on. So I'm going to go for the next week, having my window of eating between 8 in the morning and 8 at night. That doesn't mean I'm going to get up and be eating at 8 o'clock, but I'm not going to stress if I eat anytime between 8 and 12 or whatever, and then be done with any eating. And after 8 o'clock at night, I have to be diligent about not eating till the next day around. And that's only a 12-hour period, but I'm going to try starting tonight. 8 o'clock be my cutoff time of any kind of, because it should help my sleep get better. I'm sleeping good when I sleep, but if you're waking up every hour and a half throughout the night, even 8 hours of that is not good because you've woke up on, like, just as soon as you're getting into REM sleep, you're waking up. And that makes you more tired than if you slept 4 solid hours and was able to get deep into REM at least for a while. That's where the energy starts to, and I'm just blabbing on and on and on. But I appreciate whoever's listening. I appreciate you being there. And I don't say that enough, I don't think. Oh, guys, well, person, for rewatch, if you do like those devotional videos, I do have a new copy. It's not a brand new copy, but it'll be a used copy of Jesus Calling, and it should be delivered today. Expect sometime next week, I'll probably launch a giveaway on this main channel for a copy of Jesus Calling if you're interested. If you are in the United States, uh, preferably. And I don't know what the shipping is like to Canada, but I would probably be willing if someone was to enter from Canada and they win it, I'll ship it to Canada. But like I know that's still a little bit within the United States. If you're mailing a book, they've got a pretty good uh, rate on just they call it like public like printed media or something, and they got a good like if you're just sending a book or two, you can do it at they've got a fixed rate for books and shit within the United States. But anyway, that will be on the main channel, and I will probably run that giveaway for most of January. I'll also be launching another giveaway next week. I'll be drawing a name for the metal etched card that I'm giving away of Elliot Rodriguez's character, Deathmonger. I think there's 5 people that I have commented that I know for sure are entered. One of the people that commented is actually the person that makes the card, so I know he's not entering to win a card that he made, and he could just redo himself and make. He's probably got a couple already, or one sitting there of his own. Um, but I'll be launching another giveaway for the second channel of Colga Volume 1 to try to coincide with the current campaign of Colga Volume 2 that'll end at the end of January. So, and that's to give someone an opportunity to win a copy of something to get introduced to the Godfoe universe. So, specifically Colga, since they are currently uh, working on putting out the second volume. It's completely finished, so all they're doing is crowdfunding now. When it closes out, it won't be that you won't have to wait that long for the actual product. So I believe they're shooting for March to be able to ship it out. So that's gonna be cool. I'm a little over an hour now. Uh, oh gosh, let's see here. Fading thoughts with flashing glimpses of loss. Despair stirs on this day of hellish glory. The cold embrace of darkness ignites the flow of buried, hidden treasures of within my nightmare. This is all part of the perceived illusion. Do my notions make sense? Most likely not, but I think they are mine nonetheless. Wiping away the salt from my cheeks and smiling as I glance to the sky and begin to elevate. Yeah, I'd say I'm kind of elevating right now. I'm kind of on the rise. Everything I'm doing is trying to increase my energy flow during the day. That's why I'm doing these walks in the morning. I'm, watching, trying to do the best I can on my diet. And then, like I said, today I'll be trying a little bit different. I'm going to try to see if I can adjust some things. And then within the next week or two, I can start trying to do go back to the intermittent, like slowly build up to where I was at. And it never occurred to me that I'm dealing with trying to stay sober. That's like one thing. I'm dealing with detoxing my body, changing, getting my diet more healthy again. And there's a lot of things going on that inside my body, probably too, that I don't necessarily know or something. So there's like underlying stressors. So trying to stick to some regimen right now, I think what I've decided to do with the 8 in the morning to 8 at night window of time for a little while will probably help me get my body into a better place. So when I start the longer, different time schedule of intermittent fasting, Fall short daily, carry the weight of spirit, be burdened by mundane existence. Reach out for comfort from someone somewhere. I don't know where that someone is, and I don't know where that somewhere is. But I know there's people out there to connect to. Might just be the one or two people that listen or watch at any given time. Be patient with yourself. Don't overdo it. Let each moment sink in. Navigate through the storm. See the sunrise. Experience life again. Trying to understand our suffering as the days burn onward. A fallen state brings the opportunity to look up again. Let's stand strong together when the war comes to our doors. Do I have it in me anymore? I call out for a sense of courage and hope. The storm is not far off. Give it all the big kahuna. Let go of fear and doubt. Maybe I'll spend today trying to learn how to edit together a cool little fun intro tomorrow. I'd like to have something new made that I can play like I did today for a little while before the actual stream goes live. I might already be live, but you're not going to see anybody on the panel or talking until whatever I can come up with that's played with some music I can play in the background. Give people a chance to be in the chat and bickering back and forth or whatever. I'm happy that anybody even showed up. I believe you're probably gone at this point, but Falguni, if you are still listening, I'm glad you were able to catch me for a minute. And then Tomcat already said he was gone. And also, I'm imagining a lot of people, like yesterday was a busy day for most people. And then David said they're doing their actual big Christmas get together today. So you probably have other people that are like that too. Maybe you met up with certain family members yesterday on one side of the family. Maybe today or tomorrow you're going to do the next thing with another side, and it's just after. Then there's probably some people that didn't have today off. They went straight back to work. You know, I know a few of my friends from online, and I say friends because I associate with them regularly. And I think that I know that I would help them out if they needed help, and I could. Whether they would me or not, I don't know. But what I mean is like if somebody was hard up and it was on my payday and they needed a little help, assistance in some way, I could if I could, you know. And it's not always something monetary. Sometimes somebody just needs someone to talk to. A lot of people help me out just by being in the chat or joining me on a stream or even giving me the opportunity to go on their stream. I've got my online MD Live set up that takes my insurance. Right before Christmas, I could have scheduled something like for Tuesday to talk to a counselor. I could have scheduled something for Wednesday. There was even somebody available today. I may go back in the app and see if I can just schedule something for next week. It'll be an online thing, but I'll be able to talk to a professional counselor like I've been wanting to. And maybe just, I don't necessarily think you know, it might help me. It helped me back years ago. Sometimes I was having difficulty with my motivation and stuff, and sometimes they'd help me come up with a good plan. Uh, each visit I could relay what I was having difficulty with, and sometimes they could come back with suggestions that someone that's looking in from the outside and doesn't really know me personally can give me a different view. Like, even but people I associate with regularly and kind of know me better a little more, maybe they're seeing it a different way than someone that's completely from the outside. And in that situation, I'm thinking I might be able to, they might be able to help me get a better hold on my whole situation of what's going on in my life and just trying to maintain staying keeping my sobriety and keeping on point and having motivation. So maybe I'm the most boring person in the world. But you know, when I see people watch people just play video games for hours, and sometimes I've watched those guys and I'll be in the chat because they're playing video games and they're able to talk. I also see some people that play video games and stream and don't say a damn thing, even if there's a couple people in their chat. That's kind of annoying to me. But I'm saying if somebody can find it entertaining to watch someone playing a game and just bullshitting around, then I'm sure some people, the certain type of people, don't mind the type of streams I'm doing right here. I don't always have to be pulling up a video. I don't always have to be thinking about trying to be like some of the other channels that I watch. And I'm not trying to be like them, but I'm trying to learn if I want to do a show where I can pull up multiple things and share certain things and talk about certain things. I know what to do. It's like if I have a specific stream and someone comes on to share their project or their life and say they have something I can pull up to share with the audience, it'll be beneficial for me to know how to do it and how to do it efficiently and quicker. So that's just kind of what I'm doing.
Hello, greetings, and welcome. The tape you're about to experience is a very special one. It is a subliminal recording.
So easy for you
This seems so real.
to open it up.
To open me up. Tear me apart.
So easy for you.
This
Seems so real. Open me up. Tear me apart.
Tear me apart.
So easy for you. Seems so real. Open me up. What am I doing? I really don't know what I'm doing. Well, I do know what I'm doing. I'm sitting here on a stream, and I think I've probably said enough. I don't know. I've got to get a better management of my time so that I don't burn myself out. That kind of happens occasionally. And it's not intentionally, but you get going so hard every day at trying to hold things together. And I'm learning sometimes I have to step back every once in a while. Like, it's okay every once in a while on a day to not worry about doing this or that. Like, keep the routine of walking, doing all that. But like my friend Mike was saying yesterday, maybe I feel and I was like, it is an obligation doing this thing online. No, I don't make money at it. It's not my living, but it's about making real connection. And I'm like, you know, I probably might not do it quite as much if I was able to have places to go and people to be with on a regular fucking basis, but I don't. So that's the reality. So working in a YouTube regiment every day into my routine helps me. And I'm not even doing a whole lot, making a video or two, maybe doing one stream in the mornings or something. Just started this thing a few weeks ago, trying to keep something going on Saturday. But that's interesting to me because it's an actual scheduled thing. And the more I get better at keeping that schedule on Saturday, eventually going into 26, you will see another scheduled live stream, whether it be on the second channel exclusively or on the main channel exclusively. I have some ideas to move forward where there'll be another day to schedule another stream at whatever time that works for me and hopefully works for a few other people that might be interested in doing that particular stream. The next thing I think I'll launch as a scheduled stream will be one that's not comics group. It won't be necessarily meant to be a parody type, funny anything. It'll be a stream where, much like my morning streams, but the whole intention of that scheduled weekly stream that I'm thinking of will be to deep dive into certain philosophical things or spiritual backgrounds, or that's the type of stream I'm talking about. So it would be expected on that scheduled day at that scheduled time that that particular stream may or may not go into a serious mode based on whatever we might end up talking about. But that's, I mean, there's different vibes for different types of streams. Like I said, on Saturday, I'm trying to keep it kind of light. It's usually most of different people I know from either from Comic Skate or just in the independent comic book field, crowdfunded scene. But that's one that is intended to be that way because I'm calling it specifically my funny little comics group, whatever. So I'm gonna try to figure out uh, how I want to do the more serious one that I schedule. You know, yeah, 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 but I appreciate y'all being here. I appreciate you listening. I had shared this. Well, you might still be able to see it in the chat. I see somebody. It looks like someone may be listening now that wasn't there. I don't know. There is a link in the chat if somebody wanted to be on here for a minute. I don't know if I'm going to end this anytime soon. I'm kind of enjoying just sitting here down talking, running my mouth. You know what I mean? Oh, because I know if I get off of here, well, no, I guess actually I could, because I was going to eat earlier, and I haven't yet. I haven't made the eggs. All I ate was a tangerine today, and I ate a couple of sausage balls. But I am going to make some eggs here in a little bit. Maybe Gray Cloud could end this one shortly and then do some things and just fire up another one in a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that either. Who knows? I might be able to actually reach out to someone between, let's say I end this at an hour and a half. That's another 10 minutes. Well, then during the following, let's say the next hour after I end it, maybe I communicate with someone and they're like, yeah, man, let's do another, Or why don't you fire something up? Oh, come on. I don't really know. I do know I want to get some good reading in, and I have been doing that. I thought I'd be finished with the Jack Reacher novel by now, but I slowed down for a second on it. I did finally finish the Judge Dredd, that collection of the best of Judge Dredd. Finished that. It's kind of annoying because the last thing ends on a note telling you to go, like, to continue that last story. I got to get an origins of some sort and figure out. It's not that big a deal though. Arr. What's up, Dennis? Ghost, ghost. Ghost with the most. Ghost, ghost. I appreciate you being here for a minute, man. I think you were listening probably when I was saying, so my intention is to at some point set up a different stream on a different day. That'll be another scheduled thing that, whether it's me just by myself or other people joining, it'll be more seriously based. Like, of course, on Saturdays, we are able to go wherever we fucking want on the conversation. But for the most part, I want to try to keep things as light as we can with the whole idea of comics group. You know what I mean? Like the other day, it was totally fine. I really actually didn't mind that you both were able to share. It's just, and I'm glad you're here, man. So, uh, but before you joined, I've been kind of in a more serious tone and mode today. So I was sharing about Joel S. Goldsmith, the Christian mystic, and his The Infinite Way. And then I've been reading from a notebook of different things, whether it be notes or actual stream of consciousness writings. And like you weren't here earlier, but I struggled with my energy was really poor this morning. So I was kind of in a shitty mood, irritable. And I went for my walk, came back. I was just like, God dang it, man. I struggled to make my video that I made. But then once I talked to my friend Mike over the conversation, my energy started to get better, and I feel better now. So that's why I'm decided to do a stream. I remember for some reason writing this. This is a note. Plenty of people aren't flowing, but rather stagnating. I think I agree with that. I don't know when. Oh, it was on April 7th, 2024. For some reason, I wrote a note to myself. Plenty of people aren't flowing, but rather they're stagnating. I would say even me. That just a few months back, I was completely stagnant. I know I was. Hence all the drinking and things I was doing. I want to be a flowing well to others. Everything I do should be to glorify the Creator and creation itself. I tell you this, I did read a really cool book the other day. I don't know how I can pull it up though. Someone shared, "Why so serious?" I don't know. Like I said, my day kind of started off kind of funky and stuff. So, but I was feeling better, and when I came on here, I just wanted to make this. That's why I'm not streaming to the second channel right now. I'm just streaming to X and the main channel. I was like, I knew that I was going to be talking more about like real shit. Because somebody asked me in a comment, and I answered them this morning. They asked me if I believed in the power of prayer. And my response was, it depends on what you think prayer is. Some people think that prayer is always turning to some higher power or creator and always asking for something. Some people forget, like for me, it's just everyday conversation when I'm not talking to other people. It's like conversation with what communicates with me. And the way that yes, occasionally I may pray for something, but very rarely. And back in the day, like I use this as an example. I used to be like, say I'd take off walking and I knew that I was going to have a long journey on foot, but it would be beneficial if I could get a ride. Well, instead of praying and saying, I'm praying for a ride, blah, 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 I just was talking like normal. I was like, you know what? Hey, man, if you could set me up with a ride, I'd totally appreciate it. And if you don't want me to have a ride, I also understand there must be a reason you're going to make me walk the entire way. And I don't know how many different times within 10 or 15, 20 minutes, I'd have a ride. I'd be in the ride within the first 5 or 10 minutes of the conversation. I'm telling the person driving, well, that's pretty cool, man. About 10 minutes ago or so, I was talking to, God or the big kahuna. And I was like, man, I could really use a ride today. And then that driver would say, well, man, not every time. Some people would see me from a distance and they'd already have stopped. But sometimes I'd get picked up and I'd mention this and they'd say, well, I done passed you, but, and I was thinking about picking you up. So I prayed about it and it was laid on my heart to come pick you up. So I don't count those things as coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence. And you don't have to believe in nothing what I'm saying because I can't verify it and prove it to you. But it got me thinking, like what you could, like the power of prayer. I don't know. I know that when I don't worry about it as much, like I know my necessities are always there for me. It's only when I start worrying about it and thinking that I'm the one that has to take care of it and everything. Sorry if being like in this like I say, I'm in a good mood now. I'm not feeling like I was earlier. My stomach is better. I was having kind of some stomach issues. And, I'm just trying to um, just get through the day and like feel like I've been somewhat efficient today in something, if that makes any sense. So I can't complain. I had a decent Christmas. The stream that I did yesterday was fun. Like I said, I streamed for an hour and a half, and there were several people that was watching or listening. Multiple people stopped by in the chat and said hello and all that kind of good groovy stuff. Because I didn't know if I'd go live for not or not at a certain point, and then I just decided to do it. Like eventually, I did it. And then I don't think you were here yet, Dennis. When so on a lighter note, we can recap this. Where did I put it? Son of a bitch. Oh, right here. Right before I went live, my friend David from church showed up and gave me this bag, and I'm repeating kind of what I've already shared, but if you weren't here earlier, you don't know this. So this was a Christmas gift. I got 2 cool, no designs on them or anything, but long sleeve t-shirts or long sleeve shirts, which I needed, and like pack of gum and a couple of things that's got sugar in it, and I really don't need to keep and eat, so I probably might give it to my neighbor. Now, occasionally I will have a sweeter, but it's really not good for me. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, and what was in here too was like a Ziploc baggie with about 6 to 8 little sausage balls, and they were still warm. His wife had just finished making them. they're doing their big family get together today for Christmas. So they had just got done making them. He pulled up. I was out there in the yard talking to my neighbor. My neighbor was working on their car, and I hadn't talked to my neighbor in about 3 weeks or longer. So sometimes I go over and smoke a bowl with him or something, and you know, so I went over, uh, offered something to him, uh, talked to him, and then David pulled up and gave me that. So I was like, cool, man. That was like that was a good thing, man. And yeah, because like I now I have a few long sleeves and stuff, but I had like when it got really cold, I realized I didn't have that many long sleeves, and I thought I had some sweatshirts and stuff, but I must have gotten them like messed up last year or something. Like every year, it's kind of that way. Like usually around in the winter, like a lot of times because in the summertime, if I'm some of my shorts or something are like worn out, and or I've got a bunch of stuff that's dirty, and I'm needing a pair of shorts. I'll take a pair of long pants and just cut them off and make me a clean pair of shorts until I can get to the wash and wash stuff. So, food sounds great right now. Yeah, I'm enjoying. Yeah, like I was also talking about tomorrow. I might spend some time today to try to come up with something. I'm just not good at it, but I've got to learn. Um, Maybe I should post on X. There may be somebody on X that would be willing to help me make some intros or something like for nothing, like maybe I'll post a comic a post today and say, hey, if anybody could, if anybody would knows how to do better, like now self destruct has said numerous times that he's wanting to make something for the show every Saturday or what. Like I can't press someone like. Uh, I figure whenever he gets around to it and he makes something and sends it to me, then it'll be done. But I could put it out there like in a group chat or on a post and say, if you are good at this or whatever and you wouldn't mind helping me out, make something just a little 2, 3, 5, 10 minutes, even a 10 minute something I can play for a little while before we decide to be on screen or start talking and shit. And I do know how to do a little bit, but I'm like, it's going to take me longer right now, but I will practice over a period of time. It's just, and I wouldn't even know what to tell someone to make. It's like, I don't know what, like some people, like you can download little clips from movies or whatever and then splice them together and make little funny things leading up to and I don't know what, just like someone that's been doing it for a while might know better what they can or can't use if they've done a lot for their channel or other people's channels. They might be able to come up with something where they make it and put something to it, and they know it's not going to be like a copyright on it, and that it's totally fine to play. Like me, I don't know much about all that. So, let's see what we can do here. Let's see real quick. Uh, Excuse me. Bye, bye, bye. Huh. I wanted to watch Dr. Ben last night when he was reviewing that particular book with Clive Barker and something Beach, but I was just tired, and I seen that he's got a couple clips up right now, uh, and I'm not sure how to find any of that. Nah, damn. I'm trying to figure out what I can do to keep from being boring, man. I'm probably boring the hell out of everybody. But Grey Cloud's got to learn to stop worrying about that because it ain't, it's like tomorrow, I hope to be in a better, like tomorrow at 12:30 when I go live or whatever. I want to have a higher energy. Hopefully, I'm not feeling like I was this morning. But by 12:30, I should have like a better handle on everything. And hopefully, between now and tomorrow, I can come up with a couple of things to have in the back pocket that can be entertaining. You know what I mean? So let's do this real quick.
Anyways, that's what I'm saying. Like my best recommendation is to get your own copy. I think it's $12, $13, something like that. It's not, you know what I'm saying? And
Now it's called Pleasure Beach. I believe he said it was Clive Barker, which would probably be the writer, and I don't know who the artist is. I thought that's what it was titled. I'm gonna have to look that up.
nice quality material here. You know what I mean? Self-published comics. I think is there. There's probably nudity and stuff, so it's not really like a child.
Now, in the title, he might have been talking about a different book, and that was a Clive Barker book, but I don't know. I thought I saw that in the title. I could be wrong. I'm gonna have to look it up though. Pick a couple subjects to talk about. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Is that I'm gonna try to think of a couple of things. Like I intended last week to maybe share with everybody. Like I was wanting to share and show off. Like I'm gonna do it this week because I have a better setup now. I'm gonna get all my Scout comics out and have them sitting on the table over here, and I'm gonna have my setup like this because I think it's gonna be warm tomorrow. I'll be in the living room, so that'll be one thing I can do, and I can, like whether anybody's on panel with me or not yet, it's something. I'll probably wait till if anybody shows up, but it's something I can lead off with. And maybe nobody, like you might not know who Scout is. You might not know who Timothy Truman is. I'm kind of pissed off though, because the newest book that supposedly for 5 or 6 years he's been trying to put out is still not out. And it was, I know he had health problems. And they said that by the end of 25, it was supposed to be out, which I didn't put no money into it. But if I'd backed that Kickstarter or whatever he had like 5 fucking years ago, I wouldn't be too happy. And Timothy Truman is one of my favorite creators. Like he created Scout.
It's comic. But it's definitely. I'm trying to think of what other comics you could compare it to on the stands. Definitely, if you like Love and Rockets, or if you like psychodrama illustrated by the one Hernandez brother. Or, anyways, that's what I'm saying. Like my best record.
So let's see here. Okay. Kind of makes me. What just happened? Okay. Yeah. So, but that's only one thing. But that's something I would have actual. Like I have I have a bunch of the comics, so I can have them. I can go over there, get them out today, set them on the table, and it can be something to, talk about. Yeah, like I talked about it a long time ago. I remember one time Cynic pulled up information, and that's where I found out supposedly it was going to finally be put out before the end of this year. And anytime I've tried to find out anything now in the past month or two, because like as soon as I know the new Scout Marauder is out, which is about his son, I'm going to order it because I've got the preview books. Like That's why it'll be nice to pull them out and have them ready, and I can show people tomorrow. Like I can show you what I have, like part of my collection. That'll be fun, you know. I don't know. Like I think it'll be fun. It'll be something that can be comics group. But you know, also, yeah, I can probably come up. Other than that particular thing, I can think of some other stuff. It don't all have to be comics related, but if we're doing a comics group show, then it stands to reason some of what we talk about should be somewhat comic book. So, wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say? You know, I kind of want to see. What's that called? Pleasure Beach. Okay, I must be wrong. He must have been in his live stream. He probably talked about something else that was a Clive Barker book. But I remember in the title last night, I could have swore I seen. You know how I can fix that though? I just realized how I can fix that, or how I can figure it out. Right, I can figure it out like this. Okay, so what he reviewed by Clive Barker, I just realized Clive Barker's name was in the title. Clive Barker's Hellraiser Holiday Special. So I'm going to try to rewatch his stream today or tomorrow sometime because I like Hellraiser and I like some of Clive Barker's stuff. So that's pretty cool. Then I've got here pulled up Pleasure Beach #1, which is what he was talking about in that last thing there. Okay, hold on a minute. Let's see here. And then we got to do this. Oh, goodness. I'm trying to do this here. I'm sorry, man. I know you keep saying comments group, and I keep I might just change it to that because that even plays more on a parody, you know. Okay, give me a second here. Oh God dang it. Rah, 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 rah. Blah, 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 blah. It's not that complicated, is it? It ain't that complicated. Boom. Oh wait, I've got the wrong thing showing. It should be. It shouldn't be that. Oh, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Let me say thank you, Lord. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, Big Hoon. So this is what he was talking about. Pleasure Beach #1. Dark tale of returning to your childhood home is a bleakly alluring quality. The person that created it describes it as a PTSD fever dream about going home. That, though, an apparent subtitle of Hot Summer Mega Depression tell you all you really need to know about this new venture from the San Francisco based English artist behind it. Gwitter. I don't know what that is. Okay, this is definitely something that I think I would probably kind of be. It looks like something I would like. I like Dr. Ben's style. I'm getting more into those style of the more undergroundy type stuff. So I want to take a mental note. For $13, that's I don't know how many pages in it, but it looked like a pretty good sized book for $13 or something. So that's kind of funny. That's pretty cool too. Okay. Well, that's just from the site that I'm looking at though. So broken for anyway. So I may check it out. I may not. I don't know. There's a lot of other stuff I can check out before that. But there we go. No, I know, man. But I think the comments group, one week I'll change it to comments group. Hell, I might go in there today and do it. You know what I mean? Uh, I think I only have it scheduled on the main channel right or the second channel right now. I can't remember if I've got it on both channels. I think I do actually. I am gonna stream to both channels just because. Uh, and then remember, I'm gonna try. Oh, I'm gonna try to get more. Like if there's anybody in the chat tomorrow or joins that hasn't commented on that video where I'm gonna give Elliot's card away next week. Like I'm gonna pull a name next week because I get paid. I think Monday, and then Tuesday's my birthday. Um, we might do it on my birthday. I might pull the name on my birthday, or maybe I'll pull the name on New Year's Eve or something like that. You know what I mean? Right now, I think I have 5 people on the list. Uh, oh yeah. Wait, what am I doing? Am I froze up? Look like I froze up for a minute on my computer. Yeah, my computer. Okay, now it's working. Oh, I was hitting a button. Yeah, speaking of that clip, I don't know if I have it in here. Like, let me see if I can find it real quick. I might have it in my local. Well, no, wait. My local wasn't working right the other day. Like, I figured out how to bypass Wi. Like, for some reason, sometimes in the local, it wasn't. Let me see here. Hold on a minute.
See the light of day, but it doesn't help when they have to stop and kick people off the book for being affiliated with that comic group. And so this is his excerpt. He sent it to me, so all is not lost. So you get to see it, and like I said, this is in no way.
Okay, that's without any like added comment, like anything popping up on there. But that's the little short. I need to go in and label each little thing I have in there so that I know how to. Now, did that show? I don't know if that showed up. Hopefully it did. If it didn't show up, let me know. Because the other day I was trying to pull up something out of the local and play it, and I had music playing it. And okay, you saw it then. Like sometimes I'm trying to pull something out of the computer that's already downloaded. Like the other day when this truck was on with me, and even I just remember someone not seeing. And I think last week was the same thing. I had some music playing, but the screen was blue. For some reason, I was seeing it play on my computer on my phone, and it wasn't. Okay, cool. But then Destruct said sometimes the local video that you're pulling up off the whatever download doesn't always work real good for some reason. Let's watch a cut. Let's see if this pulls up. Let's see what we can. Because the way I was doing it yesterday was I was pulling it up, and then I was. Let's see if this pulls up and you see it.
We love comics group.
Okay. Now what I got to do though is I can't remember. I need to label the thing that I did make that's a little bit longer, but I want to make a bunch of new stuff. It's just, I mean, I'm having a hard times with motivation in general. That's why but I'm going to see what I can, like I said, maybe somebody can come. I might get, maybe between now and tomorrow, I can communicate with someone and maybe someone can come up with something kind of funny for me. Even if I have to, maybe I can send them a couple of these files that I have downloaded of these little grok videos and things, or I feel like I've ran a bunch of people off. Well, we didn't have a bunch of people watch. We had Falgoony was here earlier. Tomcat was here. Tomcat had to go a little bit earlier. Falgoony, I think, has done since left, and then you. There was also somebody else listening the whole time, but I don't know. There's a certain person that is always there. Like just about every time I go live, there's some kind of person, and I've mentioned this numerous times. I think they're watching from a TV, so they're not able to be in the chat, if that makes any sense. So. Hell, it's almost 12 o'clock here, but like I said, I don't have a lot to do. Well, I do. I do need to do some stuff. I have been, I'm not a great artist or anything, but I've been messing around. I think you probably seen the post. Actually, it'll do better if I do this one. No, not that. And then I drew that one last night. Now, it's not like these are taking really long. You can see it's very crude, but, I'm going to start, I think I'm going to do more owls and stuff over the next few days. Why am I keeping doing that? Oh, and then, well, I mean, what do we got here? If you see the owls right there, that painting, and then if you look, hold on a minute. Let's see if you can see it up there. Well, I can't zoom in, but way up, right above where that door is, there's a picture of an owl right there. But oh, but I am not necessarily an artist, so my forte is writing, and I'm just not writing a whole lot. Now, I did write something yesterday, but when I say I'm not writing a lot, I'm needing to get my ass in gear and start really working on some kind of story and stuff. Now, last week, I did start writing down a few little things of ideas of personal stories, and I've talked about this. That is going to be something I do. That might be like one of the streams I set up as a schedule, and it's just me by myself doing certain story times from my life, like telling stories from my life, and maybe doing Q&As, like having some like a solo complete. The whole intention is just doing a stream for an hour or hour and a half by myself, and have different stories that I've thought about remembering and the details, and maybe even written some of them down to share with people, because I get told, like Emil was telling me, they would some people want to hear about the different things. Like when I played music, I told a story yesterday about, I don't know if you were in the chat, but I told a story about Mitch getting electrocuted at that show we were playing in Little Rock, Arkansas. And I talked about why he got electrocuted. That was back in the 90s, of course, and we were we were like 4 measures into the song. And if you were here yesterday and already heard this, you can just tell me, and I don't need to repeat it. But it's definitely a story worth telling, especially like if there's more people like there was just a handful of people yesterday when I shared it, and I don't know who was there or not, but it'll be one that actually I'm gonna end up probably writing it down in more descriptive thing, like in a short story form. Uh, but yeah, the reason he got electrocuted though is because where his amp was plugged into another power source, and then where the PA was plugged in was to a separate power source, and it's not supposed to be that way. It had been wired wrong. So essentially, what happened was Mitch became he became the connecting piece between two different power sources, like the ground. Um, he lived and everything, but it was pretty weird. And of course, we didn't finish playing the show. They had to shut the club down for a little while. About 6 weeks later, we did go back and play. So anyway, but I'm trying to think now that I'm talking about it, other things that might be interesting to share, like if I'm doing a stream, like when I get something set up where I'm talking about just things from the past. I'm sure a lot of people would like to hear more stories about me when I went into the woods also, and came out going by Grey Cloud instead of Jason anymore. There's plenty of stories there. Now there's some of them I could tell, and some people might be like, "Dude, fucking whack and crazy." But if I was to tell you about some of the things I saw out there that were mystical and otherworldly, okay. Looks like I've been going. Oh hell, I'm almost at 2 hours. So yeah, we will try to wrap this up. I appreciate you being by here, Dennis. There was a few other people. I think what I'm going to do is we're going to wrap this up, and I appreciate everybody being here. I feel a lot better than I did starting off. Like I said, my stomach was giving me issues, and my energy level was so low. Now I feel better. I'm more elevated. Um, and then, like I said, when I end this here in a second, now someone's popping in, but I don't know. A lot of times I'll say I'm about to end it, but then like someone else will be coming in and saying something, and it'll motivate me to stay on a little longer. But I'm thinking about when I do one and finally hit end the stream, like I said, cooking some eggs or something, having a little bit of bite, take a walk, try to regroup. Um, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'm trying to get my blood sugar on, so I am technically diabetic, but I think my problem has been I've not been cutting like I don't eat sugars and shit. I try not to, but there are some things that you can consume that secretly have some type of sugar in it, which I try to be mindful if I'm whether like I'm pretty much I'm cutting out as much processed shit as I can, mostly all whole foods and shit, but um, and I talked about this already. I think I'm probably giving another recap, but I'm finding out that the way, like after coming out of detox, I was trying to go straight back into the way that I had been intermittent fasting, which would be not eating past like 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and then not eating my first meal till 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm finding out that if I already have certain stressors on me, like working on sobriety, trying to get certain things in my mind worked out, like mental stress, whatever. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. It's like unless you're dealing with strictly whole food itself, And then that's like I was seeing that, like whether you eat pork or not, I do. But like I know that a lot of the bacons, now you can find bacon that has no additives and no sugars in it. Finding it at a regular grocery store sometimes is not quite as easy, but it's going to be a little more expensive and stuff. But like you'll be surprised how much stuff has, like they cure a lot of meats with, like one of the ingredients will be in it is sugar. It's like, and then these preservatives and shit. Like a really good cured meat is just salt and like aging. You know what I mean? Or whatever. So, but I'm doing better. But I think part of this past week I'm sleeping, but the reason I'm waking up every hour, an hour and a half is because I'm not doing good at cutting myself off from the eating point. And then if I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm feeling hungry and I grab something, that just makes it worse. So tonight will be me I'm going to put 8 o'clock at night as my cutoff. Preferably, I've had my last little bit to eat a little bit before 8 o'clock at some point, maybe 6, 7 o'clock. But 8 o'clock, I want to make that my stop off point. And so that's what I'm adjusting myself to. And then I'm going to do this for like a week or two where I'm going to open my window of eating from 8 in the morning to 8 at night. And then I'll slowly try to see if my sleep gets better. And then I'll shift into trying to go longer in between meals and get better at my intermittent. The idea is get my body back. Any stress that I might have intensifies if I think I've been throwing my body out of loop, trying to keep myself like in that way that I was prior to all the drinking and shit, and then going to detox. And then I come out of detox and I go straight back to trying to eat like I was before I fell off the wagon. I think that's probably been part of my problem. Yeah, salt and meat. I mean, that's the way that it used to be done all the time. So going forward, I'm going to start intentionally looking for, like, if I am getting some kind of bacon or like when I do buy sausage, a lot of times I'm buying it from a local place that doesn't have all the different, your store brands. A lot of times will have all that fucking added stuff. But if you buy it like locally, it's pretty much just it's processed more naturally, or I mean, they preserve it better, more naturally. And so yeah, man. So I appreciate. Yeah, like this is a cool conversation too. Just talking about diet and stuff to me, like But like I said, like tomorrow is a different story because the show is called. It's about trying to be a little bit funny, and it's usually for the past 2 weeks. Anybody would be welcome to be on. Like Falguni came on last week and everything, but it's gonna probably be some of the guys in the comic group or Comicsgate scene, and anybody that maybe they don't call themselves Comicsgate, but yeah. Matter of fact, I think next week I'm gonna go to. There's a local process. There's a just not even about 3 miles from my trailer. It's called Crow's Meat whatever, but they only use local. It's like local farmers that live in Alabama somewhere. I don't know how local it is, but so their beef is bought from someone within a certain radius that's in this area. I don't know what the radius is. Same with the pork or what else, chicken. Most of it's bought from somebody within a certain mileage range, and sometimes it's a little bit more expensive, but the way that it's all done there. They're cutting it all up there. They're not spraying it down with a bunch of fucking chemicals. They're packaging it. It's all fresh, and then some of it's in the freezer and stuff. I've never been disappointed. I might have to pay a little bit more, but the quality is better. Now, when I buy meats at these 2 grocery stores that are here, Their meats are pretty good though. They're USDA. They're not like it's not like the Costco meats or some of the meats at Walmart and shit. Um, but going to the actual place right down the road and getting some of their stuff is always better. And I haven't done that in a long time. So that sounds like a good run that I should do next week. Like go over and spend about $100 on some good, like a bunch of different good meats. They are working at making everything so expensive. They're going to force people to have to eat the bugs and shit that they want you to eat. Think about it. That's what's being moved towards. And then have you ever seen the talk about the engineered ticks? Purposely engineering ticks. So if they bite you, you like 90% of people that get bit by that tick would probably become allergic to red meat and shit. Now it is something that naturally occurs, but they've took that thing that was a rare occurrence and now they've genetically designed ticks that they're going to release or have already released in certain areas of the world and certain. So over the next period of years, we're going to see more people becoming allergic to certain meats. The truth is, at the end of the day, I can't do nothing about what the elites and the people at the very top are trying to do to the people at the bottom. What I can do is focus on this day I'm in and be Greycloud, the sage of the eternal moment, and be happy to be in the moment I'm in. And trust if the shit hits the fan, I will be led or already placed where I need to be without a whole lot of prepping, without a whole lot of like thinking that I'm in control and that I'm going to be able to survive something. Because when that kind of stuff happens, the only thing I'm going to be able to trust in is what I've been following most of my life, you know. So, oh, why don't we do something real quick? Let me do something real quick. Let me do a little. Brother Rodriguez was here. Oh, thank you so much, Dennis, for being here. Dennis Rodriguez, the real gray cloudy day. I should have done that earlier for each person that showed up, you know. Like when Tomcat came on, but I wasn't. I was still like, now my energy's getting all going. So, and it's Friday, fuck. So what we might do, I know it's later for you, like it's 12 my time, so it's probably what? You're like probably, is it around 4 o'clock where you're at? 3 or 4, I think. Yeah. So you were agreeing with what I said. Like ultimately at the end of the day, now I could have been preparing for over these so many years and had stuff and maybe even already been located somewhere. But the truth is I didn't get that done. I had the opportunity to do those things. I had the knowledge that if I'd gotten my shit together at a certain time like I was supposed to in my life, I might already be on a piece of land that had a lot of development and a lot of like self-sufficient shit going on, but that's not the way it is. I'd become the fruit hunter, LOL. Weak vegans would become part of my meat-based diet. Hey, did you know that there's a disease that if people like cannibals get after so many years of eating like human meat? Did you ever see that horror movie? I need to look that horror movie up. I can't remember what it's called. I've watched it several times where it's about some family out in the middle of nowhere that like really don't associate with society much. They do have vehicles and shit, but like the husband, it turns out that they're cannibals and shit. But like the way they get caught is because like they were like, anyway, it gets figured out by like the husband when he is in town, like, and then like they have this nervous condition going on, and then the one dude that finds these like human bones in a creek and starts doing research. I can't remember the name of it though, but it was pretty cool. That's where I learned that, like certain tribes and shit. It's like a verified thing. Like, so I guess cannibals are subject to some kind of like weird disease from eating, like, it's almost, I guess, kind of like a mad cow thing. Cannibals and shit. Because they said mad cow came about because what they were essentially doing was taking like byproduct from dead cows that, like, after they processed the cow, for its meat, all the leftovers were ground down and turned in and then put into the feed. So the cows were getting fed. Part of their fucking diet was eating basically eating leftovers from dead cows. And that created mad cow disease, from what I understand. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? So I would figure that it's almost the same process. If you're a cannibal and you eat for years, like your diet is eating humans, and then I don't know what causes that, but it's probably because it's not meant to be, Like cows ain't meant to eat cows. Humans ain't meant to eat humans, so yeah. I'm gonna have to look up. I can't remember that name of that movie though. It was really good because these people were like real religious, but like it had to do with in their history, like when their families had first settled there, they had settled there and went through like this really harsh time during some weird something, and that's how they didn't intentionally just start off being cannibals, but they went through like this hardship, and then they started like doing that, and it became like part of their family's tradition, and that was like incorporated, and it just was like, so. What's prion disease is a different animal. What do you mean? I'd have to look up prion. See, I don't mind it. Like, I said I was going to end this, but if you're there and you're chatting with me, dude, this is some interesting shit. I like talking about stuff that is, we're passing on real information right now, like at least bits of information that we've obtained over the period in course of our lives. It's weird that I bring up okay. So it's a prion disease is a mad cow type disease, but it's okay. Okay, cool. That's you telling me this quick is quicker than me pulling it up right now and trying to like read about it. Um, you know what I should do? Maybe I should. Like I know a couple of people will just. I know a couple of you guys. If you have the opportunity, you'll be in the chat tomorrow anyway, and then maybe even come on the panel. But well, no, I don't want to set up something like. I thought about. Well, yeah, I might just go ahead and. Yeah, I need to today to remind people. Like I need to post a link again on my X timeline, maybe in Omer's Hump Day group, bring it to people's attention again that tomorrow there will be something and everybody is welcome. And more than likely, I'll post the link in the chat. Now, I would like to get to where, like, if we knew, well, no, I like it the way it is. I think it's just as simple to do that. Now, if I'd set up something, another scheduled stream that's going to be more specific, and I don't necessarily just want it open to anybody in the chat, then that would be when I'm sending links out in DMs and shit, Like if I set up something starting in January or February, that once a week I'm doing a show, and the more serious type show, that might be where like I can, try to send the link out to a few people ahead of time to see if anybody wants to be on. Now, there's still nothing wrong with if I get in there and start doing that show and there's somebody in the chat that's got a lot of good information about whatever we're talking about. There's no reason I can't drop that link and let somebody come on. But I'm thinking about for the future, certain shows I'll keep to where the links are shared privately, and then certain shows will be shared publicly. So kind of like in the mornings here, I think in my morning streams, just throwing it in the chat is probably, it's working. It's fine. That's the way I'm going to continue to do it. So, but, the sun's coming out. You want to go outside for a second before I get out of here? Let's go. Let's take the camera outside. Give me a second. I need to get up and move around anyway, and then we'll wait, what's going on here? I'm not getting there we go. See, the sun's kind of starting to come out. It was a little bit rainy this morning, not like real bad or nothing. We doing, Bitty? We doing, Bitty? Yeah, my baby. Yeah, I don't know what's going to end up happening with this litter. It might have to turn out that it's going to be harder to get rid of them because it's going to be colder weather. I might not be able to go out to the main road with my little sign and that says free puppies. If it's nice enough and I can get rid of them some that way, I will. That's Molly right there. Molly's not really my dog, just kind of the trailer park dog now. Originally, she was brought in here by somebody, but they don't really take care of her. She kind of gets taken care of. She eats over here. She eats at Betty's. She's warmed up to me, like she'll let me pet her now. I got to get out of this sun so I can see. Like if you said anything, if you said anything in the chat, I wouldn't see it right now because of the way that. I just wanted to do that for a minute because seeing the sun come out a little bit, it's going to still be kind of cloudy, but yeah, like when I get out there in the light, it's harder for me to see what's going on the screen necessarily. But it's kind of, I don't know if you can hear them, but I can hear birds chirping and stuff. I love the sound of birds. And, I walked back here the other day for a minute and showed where, I don't know if you were there or not, but I might have did this yesterday towards the end of something. I don't know. It was like yesterday afternoon. I was streaming a little bit and I had to get up and move around. But I came back here to show the little cut that goes behind the store. And I didn't get around to it yesterday. I'm going to try to do it today. I want to try to come out here and start without having to walk down to the gravel road. If I just want to be by some trees, I can just come back here among these pine trees right here. Like I could just sit right there and just meditate or read a book. You know what I mean? And it's kind of peaceful. And it's right outside, out in my backyard. Yeah, it's like I'm doing a lot of that because sunlight So these morning walks that I'm taking after it's gotten daylight and before I really have any coffee or anything, it's also about exposure to light. I'm learning that within your first hour of waking, exposing yourself to sunlight is really beneficial. And it will also, over a period of time, it will increase your energy will slowly get better. Like I was reading yesterday that just getting like 15, 20 minutes of sunlight after your first hour of being up can do a lot more for you than even a cup of coffee. Which I don't drink coffee every day. Like today, I'm just having some green tea that I made yesterday with ginger root and then a little bit of an energy shot. So I am having caffeine, but not a lot. But yeah, so those are things that I'm trying to do. Now the sun, like I said, it don't matter if the sun's actually out, but just having the daylight itself. Like even if it's a cloudy, overcast day, you're still getting natural light, and that's important, especially with how much time we consume on computer screens. And so, hold on a minute. I'm gonna start using this gimbal a little more, especially during these live streams. Now I don't have it connected through the app, but I can, because like if I did, then there's like other options and stuff. So that felt good just to get up and do that for a minute. And what I'm gonna probably do, we will probably wrap this up here shortly. Because realistically, it's already 12:30. I've done said that what I'm gonna do. It's nice out there. The birds are chirping. When I end this, I'll eat me a little something, then I'll take me another walk. Because that's one thing I'm doing is now in the evenings, once it's dark, if I've ate something, maybe I haven't taken a walk. But during the day, like my first walk, I haven't ate. But then by the time I eat in the day, whether it's early or later, I always go for a walk usually after I eat. Because from what I understand, if you take about a 15, 20-minute walk after a big meal, it helps regulate your blood sugar. It gets that cortisol level down. The same that's why I'm walking in the morning before I do anything else. Like I get up within that hour, whether it be later or earlier, but once I've decided that I'm going to get out of the bed, within 30 or 40 minutes, I am taking my walk and then coming back, then doing a video, then deciding if I want to go live. And from what I understand, just that 15 or 20 minutes that I take to walk down the hill, up a hill, turn around and come back to the trailer, and sometimes past the trailer park to the main road, then back. It varies. It can be 10 to 20 minutes, depending on, but just doing that is supposed to get the cortisol down, because when you first wake up in the morning, your cortisol will be higher. And cortisol has a lot to do with inflammation, with visceral fat. What I'm understanding, the type of fat, like this one guy that I'm watching, yeah, like now, like I said, in the evening, if I'm like eat and it's dark, I'm not walking. But during the day, my first walk of the day is there's usually no meal, so I'm walking, but that's to get that cortisol down from waking up. Then when I have a meal, like I said, when I end this, I'll make me some eggs for my protein and stuff. And then I'll take another 15, 20-minute walk. I might even walk longer. I might go down to the gravel road or something. But and then I'll come back, I'll assess what else to do. Try to fit in some reading time, like recreational reading. I just have a hard time, like when it comes to creativity. Like I think Destruct and I have talked about this. If I feel like I'm forcing myself, it's like harder to make for me, creativity, sometimes I'm waiting to, like, I have to have that. But if you put a little bit of that in practice every day, just make myself, like, even if it's just a couple of crude 5-minute sketches of an owl, or writing a page of stream of consciousness writing, if I just do that daily, slowly but surely it becomes easier to do again. Oh, yeah, I know. I'm just going by what I'm reading. It's suggesting that after a meal, anywhere from 15 or 20 minutes is sufficient. In the morning, when you're just trying to get those morning cortisols down, a brisk, quick walk. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about like a casual walk. Usually in my mornings, I'm doing like a pretty good, like kind of a fast paced walk. And it might only be 10 or 15 minutes, but I'm exerting myself more. Uh, Even just spending more time outside in general is healthier. So maybe here in a little bit too. That just seemed like when I looked at that tree, I hadn't really specifically picked out where I'd sit back there. But that one big tree I said, and all them like pine needles, they look so soft. I was like, I think I'll go out there. I might take my Jack Reacher novel and go just sit out there for a little bit after I take this. After I eat, take a walk. I might just grab my that novel and go out there and sit beside that tree for a little while and just try to like leave my phone in here and everything. Just sit out there and read for like a little bit. So, but I've enjoyed being here. Yeah, typically I will walk longer than 15 or 20 minutes. Now, here recently, it's not been that way. I'm doing 15 to 20-minute walks 3 times a day on good, like 3 to 4 walks a day, anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. And then on some days, it might not be that much just based on what else I had to do that day. But if I can get 2 good walks in a day, I'm happy. So everybody that has been here, I appreciate you. We're going to wrap this up. We're going on about 2.5 hours. And Gray Cloud does have to think about trying to get himself a few things going. And like I said, without having to keep repeating my damn self, we can all agree it'll be. And then, if I have the energy later, now I know it's Friday, there'll be other people streaming and all that. But fuck, if I do have the energy, I might decide to do another one. But I'm not going to commit to it. I know that I don't want to get, like I said, I don't want to burn myself out. And I know I have something scheduled for tomorrow. So, who knows? I might find that someone's streaming this evening or this afternoon, and maybe they offer that maybe I can just go onto their stream or something, just whatever. But, yeah, man, you have a good rest of your evening because I know you're you're a little bit later in the day. So, and whoever else is watching, I hope you had a good Christmas as well, all of you. I'm going to sign off here. Gray Cloud, Sage of the Eternal Moment, over and out.